Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Hope you guys enjoyed my Sea of Thieves video. It was so interesting to run into those people when I did. It was totally cool, right? I mean, it was, um, yeah, it was just really cool. So I want to talk about, what do I want to talk about? I want to talk about weeds and plants. Uh, what it is to be a weed. And a lot of times we're weeds without even realizing it, right? And so you really have to be compassionate and teach self-management with compassion. It was a post that I put in this morning. You know, we have a masculine side and a feminine side. And the mother in us, the first part of us that gets taken care of when we're born, the mother's job is to nurture the child and to feed the child and to nurture the child. Um, and the toughest thing to ever do as a mother is to let their children go, right? It's hard. When your children get older, my son's 17, I've been through several, a couple sets of kids. And, the hardest thing is letting your kids go because, um, there's a part of us that wants to still nurture our children. I mean, this dog. I don't know if you guys can see this dog sitting in my lap. She wants to be nurtured, right? She's sitting in my lap wanting to be petted. And um, the hardest thing is, so to deny someone the need, feeling like need to be nurtured. And there's nothing wrong with nurturing somebody and having compassion and showing love and care. But if you do it in a way that disempowers them to where they don't know how to, take care of themselves emotionally, then we're doing them a disservice, right? We do ourselves a disservice by doing that too, because now we're making somebody emotionally dependent on us. It's not good to make your children emotionally dependent on you, teach them self-reliance and self-support. And the same thing, the father the father part of us wants to provide and protect, but you can only protect um, yourself, and so you have to teach your kids how to protect themselves and protect your heart space. That's the number one thing that we should be protecting is our heart. And if you can't teach your kids how to protect their heart, then we do them a disservice, right? And so in both cases, not being able to teach to protect the heart is what the society does. It creates weeds. So and this is why I don't support coaching. If you guys watch my channel, coaching is something where you're creating an emotional dependency and taking from somebody energetically before fruit is being born by a plant, right? Because we're all creators. So for manifesting a creation in physical reality that is not bearing fruit, let's say it's not bearing whatever it's supposed to be bearing, and somebody is trying to charge you money and as a part of that chain to provide that fruit, they're a weed. Now, if they're working with you and then mutually sharing the fruits of our labor, then they're a healthy plant, right? They're part of the system trying to grow the fruit. But when you just charge money for a service but somebody's not ready and they're not actively in their creative and receptive energies, and they're not, living a healthy lifestyle, then you're just a weed siphoning off of that plant before it's matured and ready to grow. And it may never mature because the weeds can kill a plant before it can bear fruit. And so it's the farmer's job to pull out the weeds. Pretty difficult thing to really, when you understand it, it's a pretty difficult thing to teach because our whole society is built upon weeds. There's not much fruit. Because what's the fruit? The fruit of the spirit, the things that come from here. the things that make you, to rely on your heart space. Your heart is at the center of everything around you. And it's in control of and so the boundaries that you have to create with your heart. Ask and you shall receive. And I've, done my best to provide for anybody that asks, but under the right circumstances. And eventually you have to set boundaries and just say no. Eventually you just end up saying no to everybody, because unless you're creating together, and this is the time when you can say yes. This is the only time spiritually that you should say yes, is when somebody approaches you and say, hey, look, I would love to work with you and create together and share in the fruits of our labor together. That is the only time, from a spiritual perspective, that you should say yes. Now, I can say that, and but unless you guys really understand it, it's pointless, really, for me even to say it. You really have to create boundaries in your own life, especially somebody who's an entrepreneur, that you really understand the deeper spiritual aspects of what I'm talking about, right? We're living in a constricting organism it's trying to become more self-aware, but it's going through a really tough time doing so. Right? Everybody that you run into is trying to sell a service, but usually they're trying to sell you something that is disconnected from the fruits of what you're trying to produce. And if you try to pull from the plant before it's ready, you can kill the plant. What's the plant want to produce? That's the question, right? What fruit are we trying to produce? For one thing, the understanding and the realization that our thoughts and emotions create the world around us. The structure within the field, that's all it is. We're the creators of the structure and the field. And if you pull from the plant before it's done growing to bear the fruit of being able to do that for itself, then you'll kill the plant, kill the heart of the plant. Why do you think everybody's dying by the time they're 80 or 90? When you really understand it, and the vision that I get, and all of us are going to have to die. That's one thing that I have known energetically. We all have to die energetically to be able to go through what we're about ready to go through over the next 7 to 10 years. It's going to start to escalate every year. And there will be a big energetic shift. Because the best thing we can do for ourselves is to ride the wave and start to create together and receive the fruits of our labor together. And if we don't do that, we're falling into fear, right? We're charging for a service before the plant is ready. Because you have to understand how to grow the plant. And when the fruit is ripe and ready to harvest, then the harvest comes and takes place. You have to prepare yourself. And the best way to prepare yourself is to just do the work for yourself. And understand just to get into your creative and receptive energies during the day. And you will learn to master your own mental and emotional states so that you can create those states in the people around you. And then eventually you'll get to a place where the fruit will be ready to harvest. Puppy. Yeah. It's got nothing to do with money. Actually, it has everything to do with money and nothing to do with money. Money is the thing that's caused all the weeds to kill us for so long. But what are you going to do? It's part of the growing process, right? We all grow from darkness, which is why you have to teach from a place of compassion. That's the only place you can teach from, because everything grows in darkness. I am the worm under the soil. I am the rocks in the sea. I am all those things, and none of them are me. a lot of choices are available to us. Looks like there's a lot of choices available to, to all of us. What do we want to do? And there's a mirrored soul aspect. I just kind of looked at two cards just to see what I should finish off here saying. You're always going to be mirroring somebody, and maybe you don't even know exactly who that is. But anyway, I'll leave you guys with that today. Love you guys. Have a beautiful day, and we'll catch you on the next one.